is your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. I'm currently in the SHU right now, waiting for a review. I got found guilty for, they dropped my, it's trying to incite a riot down a degree. I forgot exactly what the charges was, but they kept the threatening bodily harm on the staff. So at this time, they're trying to fill up the SMOO, Lewisburg. So if you get a 100 series shot back to back, or within 2 years, a couple within 2 years, they're going to smooth you. And if you get a couple 100 series shots within a certain amount of time, that qualifies you to be smooth. So I got a shot back to back. I got a shot for beating up that louse dude in his cell, and now I got this shot. So that qualified me to be sent to the smooth program. But before you go to the smooth program, you got to get on the phone with somebody from region out in Texas somewhere. I want to say Austin, Texas, but I could be wrong. You get on the phone with them, they interview you, and then they get back to you within a few weeks to see if you qualify for the program or not. Not everybody that goes to the interview gets sent to the smooth, but 90%, if they put you in for the smooth, they're gonna clear you and send you out to the smooth, because the smooth program was something they just started implementing because they had closed down Marion and they needed bodies over there because the prison or whoever came up with these programs are getting funds from from DC to run these programs. And I'm gonna tell you right now off the bat, the whole shit is a sham, and it's disappointing. But I went for my interview. Let's just say on a Monday. Now, people really don't hear back from the region for at least 2 to 3 weeks. Well, just 2 days later, I'm out at the rec cage, and Lieutenant Helen, he was the lieutenant in the SHU. Like I said, I only just had my interview like 2 days ago. He comes over to the rec cage when we were outside. He's like, "Hey, Riff, I think you broke the record." I'm like, "What?" "Yeah, you've been accepted to the smooth program." Like, they didn't even review my case. They already knew they were trying to send me over there. They've been trying to send me to the smooth program, but I don't get caught with things. I don't, and a few times I got into an incident, I had, not by design, but they were spaced out long enough that they weren't within that time frame to where you're catching a shot back to back and then having to go to the smooth. But they finally got me. They accepted me into the program only 2 days after my interview, which, all the homies in the rec cage like, damn, I guess I broke the record. I was the one that was immediately accepted, while everybody else, they would wait for 2 or 3 weeks before they heard back. So, whatever. But, when I'm in the SHU is when I go hard with my workout, because I don't want to, because in the SHU, you're immobile. You're stuck in a cell. And when you come out to the rec cage is only probably twice the size of the cell, but you got 6 people in there. Your muscle and your body is not able to move around like if you're walking or jogging or anything. So if you don't work out in the SHU, when you come back on the compound, if you happen to get into a confrontation, you might think you're healthy, you might think that you're able to do the things that you're accustomed to, but I'm telling you, from the lack of movement, after a few months, your muscles gonna shut down and cramp up on you. I learned this through experience. So when I go to the smooth, not being on a rec, not being able to play handball or basketball, because that's how mainly I stay healthy on the compound, besides the burpees and pull-ups here and there. So when I go to the smooth, I get into my workout routine. And I was working out with a couple young natives, Chris and Justin, Hayes and Williams, the one that got caught with the knife in our cell. And I'm working out with them for a few weeks. And on this particular day, we're doing burpees, kickouts, and all that goofy ass shit. And I tweaked my back. You know, I have back problem because I got my ass ran over trying to play football out there on the freaking rocks. And, you know, when you're standing at a difference between 50 pounds isn't that pronounced. But when your ass get run over, you feel that extra 50 pounds. You know, I got ran over by this big ass Puerto Rican. He was like 200 plus, and I was reaching for a flag, and I got sidelined, end up in the dirt, and fucked up my back, and end up in a freaking wheelchair for a couple weeks, you know. But anyway, so my back is fucked up because I just re-injured whatever I re-injured, and like I said, me and Bryson were cellies. Now, at this time, word has come back from the compound that there's a native bro across from us. His name is Stick. This dude was in Victorville. He already went home, caught a violation, and came back. But while he was in Victorville, he had left some debt on the compound. And he had promised some people that when he went home, he was gonna pay that debt. One thing about the native bros, they don't play about that debt. If another race comes to them crying about one of their bros owing them money or whatever, the natives is quick to punish them and get them off the yard because they don't want to hear that shit. They're not gonna pay nobody's bills. If your ass owes some debt and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, I mean, you can owe anybody all you want. So as long as the person that you owe don't come crying to them. Once they come crying to them, that's a wrap for you. You know, so it came back that Stick had went home, left Victorville, and owed some debt. So now he's back on a violation. They sent him to Atwater. So the native bros sent us a kite, telling us, hey, we got a hit on Stick. But at this time, you know, when they come and pull us out for wreck, not everybody can get into the same wreck cage because we have an alliance with the natives, so they'll wreck us with the natives or they'll wreck us with the Mexicans. However they pull people out. And the two native bros, Justin and Chris, they're on the cell next to us, but Stick is down the hall. So when we go out to wreck, we always end up in the wreck cage with Chris and Justin. Well, on this particular day, you know, when they come and pull us out for wreck, I can't even get out of bed, so I'm not gonna go to wreck. I'm gonna lay down. They pull Justin and Chris out first, and then they're gonna come and pull me and Bryce out next, or Bryce. But Bryce already knew this was an opportunity for him to get those guys, for them to get in the wreck cage with Stick. So when they came to pull out Bryson for wreck, Bryson acted like he needed to use the bathroom and sat on the toilet. So they skipped Bryson and went and pulled Stick out and put him out in the wreck cage. So, you know, I'm in the shoe, I'm in my cell. I wasn't there. I didn't witness it or anything like that. So Bryson comes back in. I mean, I hear the deuces go off. I can, you know, when they run, you can hear the keys jingling, you know, as they're running. And I'm like, oh, they got him. But I don't know. Like I said, I wasn't out there. So after a couple hours, they were outside because however long it took to contain the situation or whatever, they brought everybody back in. And Bryson comes back into my cell. He was telling me, oh, bro, they got him, bro. They got him good, bro. Now, Stick, he's about 6'2". but they call him Stick for a reason. He's skinny, you know. And Chris, he's like 5'3". Justin is like 5'6". Justin is skinny. Chris is a little stocky, but he's short. And I guess they were on the fence. Justin Stick was talking to Bryce. You know, Bryson already knew what was going on because he pretty much orchestrated how they could get in a wreck cage together. So he was talking to Stick, and Justin and Hayes, Justin and Chris rushed him. They wrapped him up. But instead of him fighting Stick, instead of him turning around and fighting him and fighting them off, he was just trying to hold on to the wreck cage. And finally, you got two people on one. Finally, they overpowered him and got him on the ground, and they just started punishing him, just start stomping him out. And, Chris was telling us when we were, later on when we was in the wreck cage that after a minute they wanted to stop, but you can't stop. Once you start punishing somebody, you can't just stop until the police breaks it up, So they're trying to freaking stomp him out. Stick is hollering for the police, but Bryson is yelling, whatever, like, yeah, bro, good game, bro. Just making noise, covering up Stick's cry. And then Bryson is so wide that he's blocking the view from, when the COs come out. Sometimes they're supposed to come out and walk the length of the wreck cage to, make sure everything is cool. But some of them are lazy. So they just come out and they just stick their head out and look down the wreck cage. But with each wreck cage that you try to see through, your vision is going to be obstructed. And they said Bryson was just right in front of the CO with his hand up, hooting and hollering like he was just kicking it, blocking the view. And Chris and Justin was just like, they wanted to tell Bryson, like, get the fuck out the way so the CO can see and stop us. Because they end up fucking Stick all the way up, stomping out his head. And they were, at a moment in time when they were doing it, Chris was telling us, like, he was like, fuck, man, we thought we were going to kill him. But they didn't really want to kill Stick because his crime didn't warrant the extreme. But they have a policy amongst the natives that they enforce tough. And the policy called for this dude to get his ass whooped and beat so that he knows that this is not accepted in their community. But Bryson was obstructing the view and was making noise, so the COs couldn't even hear Stick hollering for help. And the two homies, the two native bros that was stomping him out, couldn't really stop because, that's the policy, that's the rules again. You can't, when you're in a confrontation, you go until somebody's dead or the police stop you. We have rules in the penitentiary. If you pull out a knife on somebody, you better use it. If you pull out a knife on somebody and you don't use it, your homeboys is gonna punish you for pump faking. And if you're stabbing somebody, if you're in a confrontation, you're stabbing somebody, you can't stop. You can't stop until the police stop you or until that dude is dead. And again, like our prison politics, our policies, our rules are extreme, and some of them are not agreeable, but this is what is it. This is what is in place. And if you're on your way to the penitentiary, if you have people in the penitentiary, there's nobody that's above these rules. If you don't follow them, then you're going to become that victim. Welcome to the USP.